All right, so we got about 3 minutes until the open of the Globex session for Sunday night, April 13th, April 12th. Let's take a look at some news. This is just financial juice. So there's a blockade that the U.S. is going to enforce on any ships, regardless of origin or destination, leaving or moving to Iranian ports. Interesting. U.S. CENTCOM's forces will not restrict freedom of navigation for vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz to or from non-Iranian ports. Blockade will be enforced impartially against all vessels and all nations entering or deporting. Deporting. More information will be given on commercial mariners via a formal notice before the start of the blockade. Iran engaged with the U.S. in good faith to end the war. This is from the Iranians. But with just inches away from Islamabad, we encountered maximalism, shifting goalposts, and blockade. 0 lessons earned, 0 lessons learned. Maybe that's what it means. So basically, the negotiations did not go well. All right, and we're going to see how we open here. We're set up on the ETH. This is a 21 range, 21 range chart. So for every 21 ticks, the price moves. After 21 in a direction, it will create a new. It looks like we have a down. Holy shit. We opened. It is moving. We opened down 1,500 points. So I got a 1,500 point gap. That's insane. So we do have some levels marked here. And we're just going to kind of watch it for a few. Fairly empty book, as you can see, lots of gaps in the price action. So we don't want to be involved here, right? Because price is going to move very hastily. 345 points. Excuse me, 85 points. So we got about an 85 point range in the first minute with a huge gap down. Massive. Let me make sure I calculated that right. $346 points. So about 1,500 ticks, I guess. Something like that. We'll start to look at. Looks like the high frequency traders are kicking back in. You can see there's a little more consistency, but there are still some gaps here. So not interested at the moment. But opening up 350 points lower from Friday's close. That's our first indication. Pretty sure if we looked at oil right now, we probably had a gap up. We're just going to hang out here. for now. So it looks like this level right here is the point of control in the short term. Looks like we got some buyers back at the session VWAP. It's 2 minutes into the session where we did get a reaction from a strong move where price jumped up without much resistance in this area right here. But we quickly broke through that zone, and there's a lot of downward force and a downward pressure and effort to continue to move the price lower. Attempt to move the price lower. This is another level where we had some buying pressure. And it looks like the POC migrated down. Lots of selling pressure here at the session point of control. Start to see some swings and highs and lows being created. So we had a pretty large aggressive selling aggregate trade in this region. Sellers are attempting to push the price even lower. Some aggressive buying effort stepping in, or could be aggressive selling effort being met by passive buyers. Again, we have this level marked, and we're basically bouncing off that zone right now. And the aggressive sellers got absorbed. POC migrated down even lower, and now we are retesting the session VWAP with some buying pressure. Maybe it's just a pullback. See if we're making lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. Do we make another lower low? More aggressive sellers. And for the Globex session, 92 and 173 contracts respectively is significant. There are buyers. There are buyers still down here. And the commitment of traders report showed that there's some defensive posturing at the top of the range. And we need to basically follow price action and not guess what we think is going to happen, but let the data tell us as much as it can before we choose a side. Okay, so we still lower low. Well as lower high and a lower low right here. we're going to take a short here, back down to this effort buying zone. Just small trade. One micro contract. Putting our stop loss at about $30. So we're risking 2 to win 1. Using this aggressive sell order as our backdrop or our protection, and assuming that we're going to get another attempt to both have buyers and sellers try to push the price down again. So we're bouncing off the trend line. This short-term trend line. And we get stopped out, and we're going to re-enter with a second attempt. So we're down 30 on the session. We broke structure. I would say this is really where the structure break. I'd be concerned with price moving back up towards the top. And we're going to go for a retest here of the POC. Now, do we fill the gap? It's a long way to go up there. Or did this become a lower high? We reject down and continue to make lower lows and lower highs. And we get stopped out our second time. Lots of buying pressure up here, lots of buying volume, but price is not moving any higher. I'm going to give it a moment. Speed of tape is significant. Now some sellers are stepping in. We're going to try again a third time using this area as protection. Taking profit down here if possible. So third time's a charm. We had some sellers step in, negative delta, both passive and aggressive sellers. Target is going to be 70% of this swing right here. So interesting, we made a higher high there, and we get stopped out a third time. So we're down 128. Looks like some buyers are getting absorbed here. Do we take a fourth opportunity? Let's give it a moment. Let's see if we break through. So we have a lot of buyers up here, 152 contracts aggregated. So big players trying to step through. Sellers are stepping in. We're going to go for a couple scalps. We're going to see if we can scalp a couple times here. And we're going to go to 70% this swing. It's going to be our first trade. See if we can claw back a little bit of our losses. So we had some absorption up here and then some sellers stepping in to protect the level, 25,000. It's an important level. Big number. And we claw back 68 minus commissions. Come back to this 70. Risking 50. Make 100. We're 15 minutes into the open, and have a dealing range of 116 points. With a huge gap down. So this is interesting. We may not come back up here. So we just made a lower high and a lower low from here. I expect we would try to come back to at least test the area where you can see those 152 aggregated big trade contracts in the blue bubble. So we have lots of inefficiency here in the market, this whole area here, as well as this area here. So we're traced back to 50% of this swing right here. Almost call it one big swing. We could treat to me this is just one large swing. So we did come down to 70%, literally nearly 70%. From here, taking profit here. Stop loss here. We get wrecked. One more time. Back to the POC. Stop loss approximately 1-to-1 on the trade. So what I'm learning about trading, it's not always about winning. It's just about really managing the risk. And when you see a play, you have to take it. Okay, so what I saw was we were coming back to retest this range that we broke earlier. We broke through it though because we also haven't retested this range where the initial sellers from this aggregated trade bubble got absorbed. So we recover. And now I expect us, we can kind of change this. I expect us to maybe come back here to retest. And I think that VWAP is a good target again. With our stop loss behind these absorbed buyers. Really these sellers who where sellers took control right here. Sellers took control and continue to step in. Trading on the 21 range chart also provides us with smaller trades in general. So not risking as much, obviously not making as much on a trade as well or either. No, it looks like we've slowed down and we're starting to consolidate down here in this bottom range right here. So we had some effort and result to the downside, have not yet to return to that level. Price went down, retraced a bit, sellers stepped back in, pushed the price down, retraced a bit, sellers stepped back in even lower, pushed price down, retraced a bit. Some more effort on the selling side, pushing price down even farther, retraced a bit. We did tap into the zone before leaving, pulling back deeper, now back and testing the point of control for the session with a pretty evenly distributed volume profile. I've got about 15 minutes before I have to take off to teach a couple yoga classes. So um, we'll just see what happens here. I get rid of these Fibonacci's. Going to create one huge swing where that seems like valid entry. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? Okay, so continuing to push lower. So this zone becomes invalidated. In our new zone, it's going to be this 30%. So it looks like we left the zone. All right, we're going to get rid of some of this, just too much stuff. We still have this area though. We did come back and clean up this asymmetry or imbalance. We have another one here where we should see some retracement back into. We may not get tapped up here. Meaning technically we should be here with our entry. Currently at the point of control for the session. VWAP up here at the 30% line, as well as a effort and result zone where sellers took control, where they'd likely to come back in and attempt to continue to drive price lower. We could get a rejection right here from the 50 and never make it back to the 70 here. See, we have this shelf forming right here. We may get a bounce right off that shelf. And the next shelf is essentially where our entry is. And there's a third shelf right about here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. And we're continuing to push down, making new lows in the short term, but not for the session. Session lows are way the fuck down here. 24,900. Buyers trying to take control. So we had a little effort and result pushing out of this low. Looks like we have some volume in this green delta candle. Price is having a hard time pushing up. Let's see if buyers try to drive back through one more time here. Right now they look like they're getting absorbed pretty heavily from passive sellers. Oh, we remove that position and we make lower. Broke through this zone now. Interesting. This low. And retested. And that makes sense, right? We had some aggressive buyers step in right here. Be a crazy night of trading, I believe. So we had down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, way down. So I'm likely not going to get into another position. I only have 10 minutes. So the play was close your eyes and hit the sell button. That's crazy. I don't know why I'm so tired today. So Still think I'd like to get into a short if we return to this zone. Back to the low. I think I'm willing to take on a little more risk here as well. We're spending time in the below the value area low, although attempting to drive slowly back up. Made a higher high and a higher low. Some aggressive buyers did step in, and we have now more 78 contracts by likely one entity over multiple trades in a very short period of time. Buyers seem to be holding that level and pushing through it. And there it is, just another bump through to the top. So if we don't come back here, we'd likely see some type of reaction here at the point of control too, like right in this area, and price pushes back down. We don't necessarily have to return. What we can clearly see is higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low. Pretty strong push back up to the point of control. We had both volume and positive delta candles, significant over the last several candles. But we hit that POC and price kind of just stopped there. Like we hit the brakes. We hit the brakes, man. We hit the goddamn brakes, man. Swear, man, I'm falling asleep today. Brutal. I'm getting that push back up to the VWAP. Sellers are stepping in at the point of control. So we have some work to do. We tapped into this first unmitigated area. Sellers are stepping back in. So lower high, lower low, 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 lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Until we break through this level right here. I believe sellers are in control. You see a push here, I might jump in short. I only have like five more minutes though. So we might just have to wait till later tonight. We'll keep a pretty tight stop here. We'll let this one run while I just take off. So we're going to put this back at that above here. So value very high. And let's see what happens. We may not come back up here. We just may not. So we're going to let that run, but I'm going to shut down the stream because I got to bounce. Happy trading y'all today. Good luck, and hopefully you all take advantage of the volatility today. Be safe, keep the size small, and pick your spots wisely and minimize risk. And you can't lose in the long term, no matter what your strategy is.